everybody, it's Melanie. I want to say, oh, I'm back, but I won't do that. I do want to get to the nitty-gritty of what's been going on with me. I know I've been MIA for quite some time, and it's been challenging, and that's one of the reasons why I've been MIA. Part of it was fear. I didn't know how to come back to YouTube. I didn't know how to come back to Instagram, Facebook, any of the places you can find me, including my website. I didn't know how to come back. So my fear was that I was going to come back and disappoint someone. Me. So I just didn't come back. But I do have a note. So basically, I don't know how much you know, but last year, at the end of the year, they discovered that I was severely anemic, which we kind of knew, but it wasn't as bad as it had gotten. So I ended up having iron infusions around November. I had 2 rounds. December, I was doing great. The iron infusions worked. I wasn't where a normal female would be. I was still under that. I was at like a 10.9. Most females are between 12 and 14. But I was up. So we were very happy and grateful that my iron had went up. My hemoglobin had went up. I was doing fabulous. Fast forward to January. About the end of the second week, just FYI, this is going to be some TMI stuff. So if you get squeamish, you may want to fast forward this part. But second week of January, I began a menstrual cycle that would not stop. Literally, my menstrual cycle went on for about 3 weeks until I figured, okay, let me go to the hospital. So I called my hematologist, which is my blood doctor, who then told me you need to go to the hospital. So I ended up going to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, luckily my hemoglobin had not dropped. So that was a good thing, but I still had that menstrual issue that was going on. At that time, they found something on my cervix, and that's when the worry began and the life is over for me began in my mind. So fast forward a week after my hospital visit, I go to my doctor's office, and in the hospital as well as my doctor's office, both places asked me the same question: are you having a miscarriage? And I said, no, if I am, it's the second coming, because I promise you I haven't been doing nothing. It can't be that. So what we found was I had a polyp on my cervix, and I also had something else that was coming out of my uterus, but they didn't know what it was. So they sent all of that off to the lab, and my doctor decided, while we're sending it off to the lab, when we get the results back, we want to be ready to go and give you surgery. And I still have all my parts, but they gave me a DNC, which is basically they go in and they scrape the linings of your walls to stop you from bleeding. Some people have it if they've had a miscarriage. I didn't have a miscarriage. I just was bleeding just heavily, so they decided that would be the best thing to do. They also decided to give me a histoscope, which means they went up and looked around to make sure that there was nothing up that could hurt me. Long story, the polyps came back benign. No, yeah, benign, not malignant, benign. Both, because what they found out was the thing that was coming out was another polyp. That is uncommon for people to have that many, but I was one of the lucky few, I guess. So everything came back okay, and life began again for me, because I was like, oh God, I can't have cancer. That was my main concern. I'm looking at my notes. So in February, I had surgery. They figured out no cancer. So I figured life would begin again for me. In March, I did not take the necessary recovery time I was supposed to take in February for the surgery. So in March, I became extremely exhausted and took off some more time from work. Fast forward to April. So between February and March, I began excessively urinating, and I do mean excessively. It started out with just every kind of like every hour on the hour, then it went to every 30 minutes on the 30 minutes, and then it just kept progressing and progressing, and down to I tinkled on myself a couple times because I couldn't get to the bathroom fast enough. I didn't know what was going on with me. I thought I had a urinary tract infection. So in April, I went to our local, well, not our local, but my job has an actual place you can go to get seen. They have a doctor's care. So I went to our doctor's care downstairs. Well, the doctor was like, I can't read any of your numbers. You have to go to the emergency room. Now, let's think about this. We are in the middle of COVID, and you want me to go to the emergency room. Are you crazy? What in the world are you talking about? I can't go to the emergency room. So I ended up going to the emergency room, of course, because I had no choice. I break down in the... I wish I would took my camera just so I could show you guys what actually... Because I think when you're removed from the situation, you don't know what really people are going through when having to go to the emergency room, and there's no one that can go in with you. You have to go by yourself. You rely on the cell phone to tell your family what's going on with you. My mom, my dad, they were distraught because they couldn't come see me. So when I got to the hospital, my glucose level was 765, and the doctor, and I'm going to try to do this under 10 minutes and without crying. So the doctor came in and he said, because let me backtrack. When I went in, they took my vitals. I thought I had urinary tract infection. They sent me to the restroom. There was blood in my urine. So once I gave that back to them and they took my vitals, they said, well, we're going to sit you back out there and then we'll come get you. Well, before I can go out to sit, immediately someone came and got me and said, hey, we need you to come with us. And as soon as I got in the room, there were people snatching clothes off me, putting the IVs in, taking blood. I'm like, you are scaring me. What is going on? Someone tell me something, because you guys are scaring me. And what ended up happening is then they said, well, the doctor will be in a minute. We can't really discuss your care without the doctor. And I'm like, but you can discuss it with me. Tell me what's going on. And no one would discuss it with me. And that is the most terrifying thing ever, to be in a hospital knowing things are just not good around you, and then knowing you're not good, knowing that you had to be sent to the hospital from work. And the guy was like, so the doctor comes in and says, hey, I hear you drove yourself here. I said, well, no, I drove myself to work this morning. Then I drove myself to my aunt's house and she brought me here. I said, but yeah. He says, so how are you feeling? I said, I feel a little out of it. I said, I do have to go to the bathroom again. And he was like, yeah, we're gonna take care of that. We're gonna take care of you. But do you know what your glucose level was? I said, well, I know at doctor's care they said they couldn't read it. He said, yeah. He said, did you know their machines go up to 500? I was like, no, I didn't know that. He said, well, when we read you, you read at 765. So I had a glucose level of 765. Backstory, that weekend I couldn't eat. I had dry mouth. Nothing tasted good. I think I lived on watermelon and juice, which is horrible if you are diabetic, and I'm a diabetic. So by Monday, my sugar levels, or diabetic, or my glucose levels, was 765. What I found out was that most people that come to the hospital with a glucose level of 765 are in the ambulance because they are unresponsive and unconscious. So for me, that was like, OMG. They threatened to admit me because he said, if I can't get your levels down, I'm gonna have to admit you. They had to contact my primary care doctor to find out what all, like, the different medications I was on prior, what did she want me on now, because now I was going to be faced with being put on insulin. I will make a separate video about what insulin I'm on, how much I take, and kind of like what that journey has been for me. That has been a rough journey, so I will make a separate video about that. Maybe a get ready with me where I'm getting ready in the morning and taking my insulin, so y'all can see all the glory. But it was just, I was put out of work for like a week and a half. It was eye-opening that I've been living very well without taking care of myself. I've been enjoying life without any consequences whatsoever. And the fact that I still was standing and I still was smiling and I still was conscious was an eye-opener for me. And that was one of the reasons why I kind of didn't want to come back, because I didn't want to come back and say, hey, I'm sick again. I didn't want to come back and say, hey, life has thrown me a curveball and I don't know what to do with it. So a lot of that was like, should I even come back? Should I even make a video? Should I even show my new journey? And then I thought about the fact that I am not the only one with this struggle. I'm not the only one that probably doesn't know that you can make it. And I wanted to share that. The good, the bad, the ugly, and all that in between. I've said it time and time again. I want to show you guys the good days, the bad days, just everything, and be as authentic as I can. So fast forward to today. Today I went for my second round of iron infusions. So I don't know if y'all saw my arm. So I had to get iron infusions again because I am dropping again. My hemoglobin dropped again. But this time they don't really know why, because they gave me medication to stop my menstrual cycles and I dropped still. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I know with everything going on, everyone has stuff going on, and to be sick during this time, like this pandemic, to be sick during this time is like rough. Doctor's appointments I have, therapy sessions I have, because I was like, I had to do therapy. It was a must. So without making this any longer, I hope you did listen to the end, because at this point I want to help and inspire anybody that I can, because I don't want anybody to have to go through what I went through. And I want to keep pushing that. It's still not, you can't have anything you want. It's all about moderation. So that's my new thing. I want to live a balanced life. Not just I work out till I can't take it anymore and lose weight, but still eat what I want to eat. Or I starve myself and I still lose weight. No, I want to live a balanced, healthy life. And that's what I want my platform to be on here now. Like I said, I'm moving towards lifestyle because I want to show you guys what affects me, what happens, how I get to the point where I'm like, I'm an emotional eater. I want to show you guys all of that. So like I said, I want to make this under 10 minutes, which I have not done. Hopefully I can find places to cut out that won't mess up the message in which I'm trying to give. But I just want to say that thank you for rocking with me. I hope you keep rocking with me. There will be more videos to come. This is just one of many. And I just want to thank you guys for always supporting me and being here to listen. I will end this like I end anything. You can always find me at www.thereisnoedge.com. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. I'm there as There Is No Edge. And as always, in any and everything you do, make it count. Have a good day. See you later.